A massive thank you to Exari, JR12, Kyle, Francis and Thomas for subscribing to the channel. If you're not already featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 11 of Season 4 of our F1 22 My Team Career Mode. Yes, today we're here back at the home of Formula 1. My home Grand Prix as well, and I've decided in my mind is 212 Motorsport's home as well. Yes, it's back at Silverstone, of course. We did this race a couple of days ago in the Haas Road to Glory. Of course, if you missed out that video, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. As well, you know, again, I apologise for the issues with the My Team Canadian Grand Prix. Arguably, I think the most disjointed video I've done on F1 22 so far, but fingers crossed everything's working as it should be again. I'm trying some different things that hopefully are going to make recording, you know, they might take a little bit more time from my end, but they should hopefully make it a bit better and more consistent for you guys as well there. But yes, we look towards, though, this weekend's action. We've got plenty of upgrades going on and plenty of other things going on around the team, so need to try and get some more of the durability upgrades on the car. Of course, Baku, yeah, a couple of weeks ago, taught me that we need to certainly fix that. So fingers crossed, as you can see, new parts going onto the car, and we will agree to do an interview feature with someone as well. Why not, eh? But yeah, I mean, we've got, oh, apparently we've got lots of questions. I'll go through this and I'll join you in 1 second. Right, well there we go. Then we'll get some more durability upgrades as well onto the car. So we'll just quickly have a bit of a look then, see how many more R&D points we're going to need to spend to try and get more stuff. I just cancelled that. I just wasted R&D. Well done, Matt. I don't think we're going to worry. There was 75,000 R&D points left spare at the moment. Not many upgrades to go on F1 22, but apparently we've got a powertrain upgrade somewhere. I'm guessing that's one that no, it... Hey? I swear I just saw that. Oh, no, there we go. I completely missed an exhaust upgrade onto the car as well, so that should hopefully give us a little bit of extra performance there. It's why you check on your upgrades as well. But yeah, British Grand Prix, my home race. Fingers crossed we can dive into this and try to continue closing up the gap to George Russell. The gap currently sitting at 23 points. Right, we're heading out then for our first laps back at Silverstone once more. Again, just like the Canadian Grand Prix last time round, although I've just realised I never actually mentioned that in the other video that I did. Yeah, we've had a bit of an overlap recently between this and the Haas Road to Glory, so I've actually done 2 British Grand Prix back-to-back in 2 days, so hopefully I've got my eye in a little bit. Of course, yeah, if you're not watching the Haas Road to Glory, I would highly recommend doing so. It's becoming a very, very unpredictable series at the moment, but yeah, we had a pretty good run at Silverstone there, so fingers crossed that will be the same today. We need to start outscoring George, as that is not the line through Luffield. And the final turn, though, that is going to be a pretty perfect first run then here at Silverstone. That's what we love to see. Right, well, here we go then. Clearly, F1 22 once more is listening to my prayers, because now we've got a tyre wear run rather than a qualifying sim, so maybe, just maybe, we can get 2 purple scores. I'm not too worried, we don't need the R&D, but bit of a lock up there in towards the loop, but we'll get away with it, just kind of. That's some chronic understeer, and we'll balance it out with some nice oversteer on the exit. Didn't realise I was racing the 2014 Ferrari. So we head down in towards the final couple of corners, though we have actually been able to do quite well on this lap. Going to drive through the final chicane like I've got my grandmother in the Formula 1 car, but out of the final turn, that is going to be 2 for 2 on the purples. Let's hope we can carry on that momentum into qualifying. Well, as always then, chucking the car straight into Q3 here, and of course it's not only my home race and the team's home race, it is of course George Russell's as well. I think, yeah, he is our first, no, Hamilton of course, wasn't it? Of course was also our British teammate, but yeah, George Russell as well, of course, Mr. Saturday as he's known. He's been rapid most sessions so far this year, and this weekend has been no different. We're probably going to be looking down towards the 1 minute 24s if we want to be getting poles, so we need to concentrate. And a really good lap has got to come in. I just noticed George Russell had flashed up on a 26.3, so clearly not getting a good first time in then from our teammate. And yeah, it must have been a 26.3 or slower there. Pierre Gasly has now gone purple in his Merc, but it's felt like a pretty tidy lap from us as our banker here is Ricciardo 26-1. Short, they're going to go a lot quicker than the Australian. 25-3. That immediately puts the pressure on our teammate. Remember the last time he didn't get a good first run in? That was back in Baku, and he started, what, P8 for that race? We'll wait and see whether the same happens today as Ocon joins us on the front row. My arch nemesis, Esteban Ocon. Yes, that's probably one of my best banker laps I've done on F1 22, and you can just see not many cars actually going out for a final run here, so it is probably only going to be George Russell that can snatch that pole away from me, unless they're a Red Bull car, that is, can pull out a worthy of a lap and take their first pole in a very long time. But yeah, that banker was pretty good. Are we going to see George Russell be able to match it or go quicker? Can we somehow find even more? The best lap I'll do on F1 22, no word of a lie. A 125.0, George couldn't even improve, but we go faster. Genuinely, the best lap I'll do on this game, I reckon, right there, here on our home crowd.
With qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves once again of our top three: Mr. Monaco, Leclerc and Lando Norris. With qualifying complete, all that remains now is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Well, Charles Leclerc very, very competitive there at the end of Q3. Will line up on the front row alongside us, but Lando Norris, of course, his home race as well, starting from P3 in his Alpine. Sergio Perez fourth ahead of Esteban Ocon there, and George Russell again down in P8. So Mr. Saturday, he's either been pole, second or 8th this year, if I'm not mistaken, but we're starting then right where we need to here for the British Grand Prix. Can we try and convert pole into the race victory? We tried it at China, and I binned it on lap 1. I'm really hoping the same doesn't happen here.
We return once again then to the home of British motorsport and the birthplace of the Formula 1 World Championship. It's race day here at Silverstone, and it's time for the British Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of Silverstone Circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula 1. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Mr. Monaco lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Perez, Ocon, Daniel Ricciardo and Gasly, Russell, Théo Pourchaire, Bottas and Yuki Tsunoda, Joe, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri and Albon, Drugovich, Mick Schumacher, Kevin Magnussen and Lance Stroll, Daruvala, Ticktum, Schwartzman and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And with me as usual, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Mr. Monaco. That was a great podium in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
I know this is your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Let's not make any unnecessary risks.
Right, well here we are then on the grid, ready for the British Grand Prix, and look at that, soft medium is doable around this circuit now. I love the fact that the tyres last so long with a maxed out car, or almost maxed out car, on F122, but Charles Leclerc then with grid penalties means that we have got fellow Brit Lando Norris alongside us on the front row, split strategies as well, and I've got the clutch glitch. Why not, eh? I guess silver linings and all that. We can actually have a look at what tyres everyone else is using. So Bottas on the mediums, Théo Pourchaire on the softs, George Russell. What is our teammate going to be on? Surely he's going to be on softs. Always goes the same way as me. No, George Russell is on a set of mediums then for the start of this race. That is interesting to know. Around in the final couple of corners then, we have refound our place at the front of the field. So let's just try and make sure that we get some heat into the rears. Leave to myself there, back up on the Silverstone stand. It was such a cool weekend, probably my highlight of 2022. But lining up then on the grid here at Silverstone, purple score on the lineup. Of course, that wouldn't have been possible as well without you guys. So again, you know, a massive thank you to all of you for the support throughout the entirety of 2022. I'm pretty certain this is our final My Team race of the year, so let's try and make sure that we go out with a bang, and hopefully that's a metaphorical one, not a literal one, because we know the reliability of this car this season. We're waiting on the grid then, British Grand Prix time, 5 red lights, and it is lights out, and away we go. Just trying to make sure we get the power down nicely in towards turn 1 there. Lando Norris will have me as both, oh no, Perez and Esteban Ocon there. We do not want to lose the place to Esteban as we head now down in towards turn 3 there. Try and force him defensive as he's almost gone into the back of Perez through turn 3 there. So very, very close as Ocon and I. Clearly, we're still not on each other's Christmas card list there. Christmas might just have gone, but Esteban Ocon and I still absolutely duking it out for every position on a Formula 1 race circuit there. As you can see, his teammate, though, Lando Norris, of course, won the Azerbaijan Grand Prix just a few weekends back. I'm sure he'd love to win his home race even more. There is Sergio Perez. We've got to try and get back around the Mexican as soon as possible in this Grand Prix. Of course, starting on those medium tyres, he might be one to watch out for later on. Perez, of course, yeah, renowned in real life for looking after his tyres, but on F122, he often actually goes for quite sort of risk-averse strategies, was the word I was looking for there, as I was a bit worried just for a moment that Ocon was going to try and send it into Maggots and Beckett's, but let's wait and see then what the straight line speed is like on this open lap. We were incredibly quick during qualifying, and it looks like we've got just enough speed to pull alongside Checo into the braking zone. Mini iconic move down the end of the hangar straight, and that one hopefully will join them as Ocon somehow has snuck by him as well. So now it's myself versus the Alpines then at the front of the field, and Checo now trying to defend from the French driver and Pierre Gasly, as Lando Norris fastest at the end of lap 1, 1.8 seconds clear at the front of the field. So I tell you what, it's still early doors in this Grand Prix, but Lando Norris is absolutely going for it. Another 3/10 pulled out that time round. Alpine didn't have particularly promising pace on Saturday, but come Sunday, Lando Norris, at least early on here, has got the bit between his teeth. There we go, finally new fastest lap of the day. So we start lap 5 of this Grand Prix, but Lando Norris, we're still not taking much out of our fellow Brits, so this is certainly going to be a battle of the British drivers today. There is Esteban Ocon, not quite got the pace of his teammate. Ocon has been a lot more consistent of the Alpine drivers this year, but when it's really mattered, you know, when they got a chance for a victory, Lando Norris, I think, is still the one that team would rather rely on. As a horrible run through the loop to start lap 5, but we've got to try and get within DRS range. That's got to be the key here if I want to make any impact at the front once more. Seen on my mini-map as well, Pierre Gasly has lost the place to Sergio Perez once more. So yeah, we might start seeing those mediums start to come back to Checo a little bit. Tyres back feel fine. Car's beginning to pull away in front, you know what to do. Drive at 100% like I already am, Mark. We are not really leaving a lot on the table here. Lando Norris has got to absolutely be driving the wheels off that Alpine at the moment. We're still setting green sectors as I try to close in the gap, but I think I'm happy now if I'm taking 2/10 out of him a lap at most. Any more than that, and he'll have to make a mistake. Lando really wants to make it win number 2 this year, but we could really do with the points as well. This is a golden opportunity to close in on George Russell for the championship. Less than a tenth away from our PB there, but we've just got to keep going. As George Russell's stuck in a huge gaggle of cars. They're one of the Haas going slowly though, so might see one of them out of the GP. It looks like they're able to keep it going. Not too sure what's gone on there, but I've got to focus. But there we go, Esteban Ocon, first car into the pit lane. Team don't want us in just yet, which is not ideal because these tyres are definitely starting to go off. You can see a lot of front graining. Whoa, big snag of the brakes there in towards the first couple of turns, but Ocon, I don't know what tyres he's going on to either, sadly. So we won't know whether Alpine are risking it on mediums or going over onto hards. I'm tempted just to box now, but I'm a bit worried we're going to screw over George Russell. He is quite far back, so it might not cost him much, but yeah, as much as we are battling for the championship, I've still got to try and play the team game to within a reason. Our tyre wear warning lights flashed up as well. I'm going to have to box this lap. I'm sorry, George. I don't make the rules, apart from I'm the team boss, so sometimes I make the rules, but that's the way it's going to have to be this time round. Mark happy with it as well. There's, I think, Russell sat just behind Charles Leclerc there, so he's going to be at least 10 seconds back. So we head in towards the final couple of turns. Surely we'll see Lando Norris into the pits as well, so both of our front two peel into the pit lane. Be really, really aggressive on pit entry there, and we do get it stopped nice and tidily as Sergio Perez. Surely he'll stay out a couple more laps then. Yep, Checo's staying out, and George Russell isn't pitting then, so that's reassuring. Maybe the team did get the memo and haven't allowed him to box there, so we are now moving over onto a set of medium compound tyres. Lando Norris looks like a clean, tidy stop down at Alpine. We try and make sure we get the purple and try to get out the pits again really, really quickly. No, get on with it, please! 2.4 second stop is not perfect there, as there goes Latifi and Alex Albon. Going to be one of the Haas cars up next as well, as luckily Ocon behind the Alfa Romeos and the Aston Martin. Big wobble though as we try and put the power down. This is one of the most difficult pit lanes on F122, solely because of the cold rubber, but out of the pits we come. We've lost a good second and a half though to Lando Norris. He's under pressure from Felipe Drugovich. I'm under pressure from Kevin Magnussen. That was scary. That'll get some heat though in the rubber. I've just remembered as well, of course, George Russell was starting on mediums, wasn't he? So of course he's not boxing yet. George will probably go to the end of 11 or 12 unless he's trying to go softs to the checkered flag. But Lando now 3.3 at the road, and that's going to go up even more there as I nick the grass heading in towards the Vale chicane. Whoa, come on, get the power down. We've just got to keep focusing. It's not about trying to take all the time out in one go. It's about being consistent to the flag. 3.7 now. I really haven't caught Drugovich at an ideal point of the circuit either. Going to have to make sure we time our run. So we're launching past him, of course, down the back straight. You just see heading through the old turn one. Of course, the ground effect cars much, much better than years gone by with sticking close, but it's still not doing me many favours as we head through down one gear, down another, down a third as we head out onto the hangar straight. Surely Drugovich not really going to be able to do a lot to defend himself, nor really is there much point in it. As well, Lando Norris there gets caught up behind Alex Albon up the road. That could be handy for us, as Albon just sits in the way there. Lando Norris trying to get to the outside of his former rival as we head through the final chicane. Lando's made it through by the looks of it, but he's certainly lost a bit of time there. What's the gap down to? 2.6, come on. As new fastest lap of the day as well. Get in there. But yellow flag's out. Someone's got issues almost immediately. Who's that going to be in this Grand Prix? Is that Drugovich behind me? I don't know who it is, actually, to be honest. Looking on the mini-map, it's a car even further back. Oh, it's Ocon! It's time for my smug face. Yes, our rivalry goes that deep. Oh, we're going to get a good run on Alex Albon as well and even pick up the DRS, but I'm a bit worried this time around we're going to be too far back, as look at that, like a heat-seeking missile. As we close up to the Williams, gotta lunge it up the inside of Albon, and a very, very slow Williams on old tyres versus a 2-2 Motorsport car on new tyres. That one was a big dive, but we've made it work there as Albon immediately peels into the pit lane. So again, even more time taken at Lando Norris at the front of the field. He's up now to P5. Still yellow flags out there. Got to get Ocon's car off the road, but yeah, the gap is coming down, but we have been quite lucky. Well, there we go. George Russell, our teammate, into the pits then at the end of lap 13, so he's definitely going medium hard tyres rather than medium softs in this Grand Prix, but the gap to Lando Norris still coming down there. New fastest lap of the day. Love that, as we are now back into second and third there, so maybe Checo is the one trying to gamble on the strategy, but yeah, we've often seen this before at Silverstone. The AI very, very strong throughout the first stint and then struggle a bit more in the second. As has George Russell. Whoa, that was close. Russell's bumped himself up to P5 there, so a fantastic couple of laps for George. Means now there's only one car between us. Nope, Checo's definitely not trying it either then. Into the pits comes the Mexican. I think he's going to re-emerge, probably still in P3, I want to say, of this GP. But yeah, George Russell running not too far behind me now, so although we should still take points out of him, it won't be as many. That was close. I've kept my foot in. That was brave and also a bit cheeky. Yeah, first warning of the day then, so we've got to be careful of those. But yeah, Lando, as soon as I say about how the gap's coming down, he's decided, you know what, I'm just going to try and hold it above 1 second. If we can get within that range, Lando's in a world of hurt. 10 laps to go then, and honestly I don't think we've had many races like this on F1 22. Lando Norris and I, both born and bred here in the UK, racing for the win at our home GP. It does not get much better than that, as we're just so close. Will we inside the DRS range that time round? It must have been thousandths in it. Oh, way too slow through turn 4 then. No, we weren't, so Lando Norris again will have another lap to breed, but it's surely a matter of when rather than if we can get within the range there. We've been leaps and bounds ahead of anyone else so far this afternoon. And Mark now telling me we can start thinking about an overtake. But will we get an opportunity? As Lando, you can just see there really pushing the limits of grip and adhesion in that Alpine. He has absolutely driven the wheels off that thing today. You don't want to cause too many heartbreaks in this world, but sometimes in Formula 1, you gotta play the villain. This time around then surely we're going to be within the DRS range of Lando Norris as we head back through 1 and 2. Of course, the DRS detection point just after the 50 metre point. That time round, yeah, we're definitely there. Get a horrible run through the loop, but I outbroke myself on the way in just to make sure we definitely were within the range. Let's now see if an opportunity is going to open itself up and whether we can try and stick close. As you can see immediately, the gains we make down the straight. DRS is still very, very potent in F1 22, a bit like we saw quite often in real life, but getting close to Lando is one thing, getting around him might be a whole nother. I feel like Hamilton a bit against like Charles Leclerc in the 2021 British Grand Prix. We're just gaining, and I'm sure there's some people out here who won't want to see us take the race of victory today, because Lando Norris has absolutely done everything perfectly up to now. But you can see now getting a nice DRS run as we head down the end of the hangar straight. Are we going to be able to have a look to the inside of the Alpine? No! Lando Norris, whoa! We'll just about close the door there. We get a big wobble as we try to expect a bit too much from the rear tyres on the exit, and that's going to push us back. The gap opens up to 8/10 once more as through the final couple of turns we'll go. Lando Norris absolutely will not make this easy for me. Well, I don't think anyone was expecting this going into the GP. 5 laps to go here from Silverstone, and Lando Norris, Alpine, you know, they didn't show fantastic pace on Saturday, but Sunday today, Lando Norris took the lead at the start, and has so far pretty much spent the entire afternoon looking in his mirrors. It's still anyone's guess, though, about who will be crowned a British Grand Prix winner. Of course, crown jewel event in the world of Formula 1, you know, right up there with your Monaco GP victories as well. Sure, yeah, it probably ranks very, very highly. You know, Monaco, Silverstone, Spa and Monza are probably the 4 I'm sure most drivers really want to win. Of course, steeped in history, and Britain as well, we know so much Formula 1 heritage as well, but this is 2 young hotshots battling it out, and we've got another one that's currently leading the Drivers' World Championship further back. But can we get a run out onto the hangar straight this time around? We're a lot closer to Lando than we've been any other time before. Lap 21 and 26 to the inside of Lando Norris down the end of the hangar straight, and we're going to move through for the lead of the British Grand Prix there. Will Lando Norris be able to come back at me? No, he just backs out of it off the corner. Honestly, I thought he was trying to switch back in that moment, but now he'll be the one with the DRS. Will that Alpine be able to hang close enough to do anything? 5 laps to go here from Silverstone, and Lando Norris has certainly not given up. Oh, Lando Norris has got a phenomenal run out onto the hangar straight once more here. We're going to have to try and go a bit defensive from the Alpine, but you can see their straight line speed not quite as strong as ours in the slipstream there. Of course, dirty air as well, technically, but Lando Norris still trying to make something happen here. We have got one of the Williams just up the road. Fingers crossed they don't hold me up late on in the day and potentially change this victory. 4 laps to go as look at this, Lando Norris to the inside on the run down towards turn 1. I'm not brave enough. I just got Hamilton Verstappen. I know it wasn't that corner, but I just got Hamilton Verstappen vibes for one moment there and had to back out of it. As you can see, Lando Norris, it's not a usual overtaking place around this circuit, but clearly he felt there was an advantage to be had there, and he's absolutely taken it. But now the tables have turned once again, as you can see the speed as we head down the Wellington Straight there to the outside of the Alpine. We both run wide, but Lando Norris, gets a big kick as he tries to realign the car back on the racing line there. And gets a really good run out of left field and will hang on again for now. So there we go, lap car is going to get out of the way. It is young Mick Schumacher in his Williams as well. You can just see there, almost a bit too focused on the Williams there, almost went into the back of our big rival. It's honestly been, I think, genuinely one of the best battles I've had of 2022, whether that's against AI, humans, or anything else, F1 22, or any other game there. But to the inside again of Lando Norris, but this time round, look at that, Lando! Brave enough to hook it up round the outside there. We had to give him room. He certainly had plenty of the car still there. 2 laps to go here from Silverstone, and Lando Norris refuses to give up a potential first home race victory, if I'm not mistaken. I always forget about Season 2 in this career mode. I can't remember, honestly, off the top of my head, whether Lando Norris won that Grand Prix. It was almost 50 episodes ago now, it would have been, but whether I'm going to say this is Lando's potential first win here at Silverstone as we head around this final lap. I think it was Bottas, actually. I'm trying to rack my brains. They might have dominated that weekend, but this time around getting a run down in the Wellington Straight. But again, Lando Norris just cuts me off there. Brakes way too late. I could tell he was going to try and park it back on the apex, so he had to lift out of that one. Otherwise... No! Big snap of oversteer there as we tried to put the power down, and now Lando Norris has got a 2-second lead. Oh no, it's been 25 laps. Oh, pretty much no mistakes from either of us. Have I just bottled it with a lap to go? Back to start the last lap then of the British Grand Prix. I'm sweating so much. As you can see, this has been genuinely one of the most intense races I've had on any F1 game ever. But Lando Norris, we've just taken one tiny mistake, and it's going to make the difference. Here today at Silverstone, we're not going to have enough time, surely, unless Lando gets some sort of issue on this final lap to close back in there. And you know what? Fair play. That young driver absolutely deserves it there as we round this final lap here at Silverstone. George Russell looks like he's going to hang on for P4 come the checkered flag, so we're only going to take, 6-7 points out of him. Would be the same as getting a 1-2, but I was really hoping with him starting so far back, it could have been a little bit more there. We had a fantastic battle in Shanghai, of course, when we started pole. That was a battle for P2 against Charles Leclerc. He ended up reigning supreme that weekend, so again, if we start from pole, apparently we're going to bottle it with a lap or so to go in the races. But Lando Norris, he's kind of been a bit outshone so far this year by 212 Motorsport and their 2 British phenoms, but he's the only other winner so far in this campaign, and this weekend he's going to make it a second there in towards the final few corners of the Grand Prix. He's done everything you could ask for him today. He was not odds-on favourite to win this one after qualifying yesterday. I honestly thought that qualifying lap could have set us up for quite a dominant display here, but through the final corners, Lando Norris back on top once again in the My Team career mode. He is a force to be reckoned with.
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you pulled through. Thank you very much.
There's a few disappointed faces up and down the pit wall after that one, but not here. They've secured a phenomenal victory. Tell me, Ant, How do they manage to achieve this win?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Once again, it's podium time, and once again, it's a clear win for Alpine. The team have seen their fair share of success in Formula One, and today is proof that they've still got what it takes to thrill us all. Congratulations to everyone at Alpine. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Well, that lead at the top has somewhat shrunk today. Well, after an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage yourself out on the track today. He was almost flawless out there. Incredible stuff.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The current leaders continue to extend their lead at the top. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend for them as they fight their way towards the top. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we are then, the end of the British Grand Prix, and Charles Leclerc, fair play, 12th to 3rd there. I don't quite know how he managed that one. But Lando Norris, absolutely my driver of the day there. George Russell snuck away fastest lap, though, at the end, which means the gap only comes down by 5 points. Of course, we'll have a look at the Drivers' Championship in just a moment there. But Pourchaire, Perez, Gasly, Ricciardo, Bottas and Zhou Guanyu rounding out our top 10 this weekend. I think it was just Ocon that didn't make it to the checkered flag there. Yeah, Mick Schumacher, 1 lap down as well. Championship-wise, the gap comes down, though, to 18 points. But look at that, Charles Leclerc. He's mighty consistent, but of course, yeah, the big one. Teo Pourchaire now up into 4th. Lando Norris now up into 5th place. They're both jumping Esteban Ocon as Perez just having a weirdly quiet season so far. Slumped down in P7 as well. But, yeah, I mean, could we potentially see, Ferrari got their act together. Charles Leclerc could come back for a second world title, of course. Almost made that miraculous comeback in Season 2 of this series, if you remember as well. But constructors-wise, we're still absolutely dominating the way there. Ferrari now re-jump Red Bull, though, up onto 196 points apiece. McLaren and Mercedes, just 1 point separate them as we leave the British Grand Prix. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will be back next year with more of the F1 My Team career mode. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.